Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So this is live technology. Apparently my 1 gigabyte fiber optic internet went out for a moment. So sorry about that. I'm going to talk as if anyone's here listening, and maybe if somebody pops in. So if not, well then this will be just we'll just chalk this up to, oh well, there goes another Saturday. So my apologies. Oh goody. Yay. Thank you, Victoria. Okay. So what the topic is, and I'm going to jump in back in, hey, is mindset. So the protocol is quite simple, like I was saying before I froze. Well, I didn't freeze. The screen froze. But that doesn't mean it's easy to implement. Why would it not be easy? Because we have to change for some of us, we have to change lifetimes worth of habits. And for some of us, generational lifetimes of habits. And we have to overcome things that we accepted as the truth that weren't necessarily so. Bad nutritional advice that persists to this day. And then our own excuses we make for ourselves. One of the things, and what I'm thinking about today, I've been kind of pondering on it, is how suggestible we are. I'm reading a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink. And there references some studies that were done, research studies that were done by psychologists, designed by psychologists. And I won't go through the whole thing, but the breakdown of it was just scanning a bunch of words that grad students as research subjects, volunteers, were asked to do, and take these words and make them into several sentences. The list of words were nothing oblique. I mean, there's nothing outrageous about them. There was a bunch of words, but interspersed were words like old and injury and slow and elderly and aged and things like this. And it took 5 minutes for them to make the sentences, then they leave. And they noted that as the students walked into the testing room, they walked in, they're young people, they sit down, they take the test. As they walk out, they're walking like more slowly, like they'd aged 30 years. It's called the adaptive unconscious. And there are more studies, very interesting. And so I was thinking, well, that's fascinating. And that's with very subtle things. The effects didn't last. I mean, as soon as the students, 15 minutes later, that adaptive unconscious went on about its business. But what about our actual brain? Not the words that are, in some research study, and the students didn't know what they were being tested on. This was an actual effect. But think of the words we tell ourselves, our own mindsets about ourselves. Things like, I can never do this for more than 5 days. Every weekend is too hard for me to get through. I've never succeeded before. Or no, they just say that when you get older, things start to hurt and slow down in your brain, and if you haven't lost weight by menopause, you're never going to lose it. And these are not even subtle things that we tell ourselves. And some of them are not things that we tell ourselves. They're things that we have been told. And sometimes by the medical establishment. Like, if you haven't lost weight by menopause, you probably won't ever. For the record. Okay, somebody says the feed blurry. Somebody says mine is clear. Looks good to me. Refresh your screen. Sometimes that helps. For the record, for those of you who don't know my story, I was overweight, obese, and morbidly obese for 30 years, from my mid-20s to my mid-50s. I tried all the things we try to lose weight. I never did Weight Watchers because, for one thing, I wasn't going to pay somebody to have me step on a scale in front of a room full of people. I'm not a masochist, and I'm frugal. But I did all the other things. You can go to my blog. You can see the photographs of me the summer of the triathlons, sprint level triathlons. Tried to move more, eat less, low fat, all this stuff, food combining. But I gave up on losing weight because I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And I told myself all the things that we tell ourselves. And then I finally had a mindset of, well, the universe wants me to be fat. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be fat. But I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. So I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. Came across the white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman of Duke University. That was on January 8th, 2014. So going on 8.5 years ago. And that day, I just laid off the carbs. I just started cutting back on the carbs. I just did. Now, I knew low carb worked for me. I knew it since 1977. But my mindset talked me out of following through. I would actually have the mindset that I can't go the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. That's just crazy. And I'm eating good carbs. I'm eating whole grain bread and quinoa. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, they did know what they were talking about, and I knew that it worked for me, but my mindset. So I finally had to just quit listening to my stupid mindset as far as that goes. I changed, and I laid off the carbs. And long story short, this morning, every Saturday right now, because I'm doing an experiment, I check my blood sugar and my ketones. My sugar was 79 this morning. Some Saturdays it's 68. Some Saturdays it's 92. But I don't have type 2 diabetes, and I don't have to take insulin, and I don't have high blood pressure, and I don't have metabolic syndrome. And my mood is regulated, and my joints don't hurt so much. My knee hurts because I wrenched it, but that's not from inflammation. That's from some weird, my backyard is trying to kill me. If I'm going to get an injury, it's going to be in my backyard because I've gotten many of them. So, and by the way, I was 55. I assume postmenopausal. I haven't had a uterus since I was 29 or 30. So, I assume I was postmenopausal. My ovaries had gone kerplunk. So you can lose weight after menopause, and you can give up carbs, and you don't have to drink 128 ounces of water. You don't have to do all the things that keep us from doing this. Just lay off the carbs and don't eat if you're not hungry, no matter what the clock says. If you want to fiddle around and, perseverate about grams of protein and grams of fat and time of day eating, have at it. Do whatever works for you. What works for me is following the protocol as I learned it and have practiced it all these years. Our mindset needs to change. If the adaptive unconscious, marketers use this all the time. They kind of, keep plying us with messages. One of the biggest ones is that ice cream solves all world's problems, emotional problems. Of course, it doesn't. It just makes you fat. But we take this in. And that's on top of what we tell ourselves. And if you're like me, you tend to believe the worst thing about yourself anyway in the first place. Just, unless you're a malignant narcissist, you tend to feel like you're falling short of the mark a lot. Narcissists don't ever feel like they're falling short of the mark. If they fall short, they blame it on the mark, not their own behavior. So think about it. Literally think about it. Think about what you think. Think about the words you use. Around Go Keto with Casey, we try to not use certain phrases like, I've only lost 8 pounds in the last 2 months. Well, you've lost 8 pounds in 2 months. Remove the word only. Someone gives you a compliment and says, oh, wow, you've lost weight. We tend to say, yes, I have, thank you, but I have a long way to go. Well, just take the compliment for what it's worth and say thank you. I'm very pleased. We don't use the word stall or plateau. We use the word hover. And we just try to change our thinking. And I no longer say, well, haven't in a long time, that I just can't see going the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips. I think I can't imagine why I spent two little cardinals were kissing. Um, I can't imagine having spent all those years eating all that crap. That's what I think, but I don't live in the past. So that was then, this is now, things are better. And they're getting only better. Mindset. Practice. If you have a negative thought, you can acknowledge it and then invite it to leave. Hello, negative thought. I see you there, but there's the door. Replace negativity with positivity. Just as we would replace toxic acquaintances, we need to do that with our own thoughts inside our own brains. Sometimes we're the toxic relationship inside our brain. It can be done. It is sustainable. It is not dangerous. If your doctor doesn't like it, oh well. You don't have to go to another doctor, but you also don't have to do what your doctor says. I was just hearing a story on People's Pharmacy about really how so-called research has just turned into not good research. So anyway, I have to read that book next. Free your mind, and the rest will follow, which is a line from a song. So hat tip to that author. Oh, and yes, someone's pointing out our eggs. So this morning I ate 3 fried eggs, fried in reserved bacon fat, and 3 slices of thick bacon. I was particularly hungry this morning. Other mornings I'm not hungry that early, or I'm not that hungry, but it was delicious. Can I tell you? That's one mindset. Bacon won't kill you. Eggs won't kill you. The bacon fat is better for you than seed oil. It's the way we were designed to eat. I do want to spend some time thanking people who came back, if they came back, and to address comments. And then you can start now, but share your victories, share your challenges if you wish. I am going to do shameless commerce division with a tip of the hat to the car talk guys. Just trying to earn my keep here. You don't have to buy one thing to be 100% successful at this protocol. No pills or potions or kits or bottled water with people's faces on them. But I will sell you a steel bottle with my face on it and a mug that says lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses all day long. Got a t-shirt. I'm stronger than a cookie. It's my best-selling t-shirt. You can see the link to those below the video. I have a 12-month record book that has no starting date. You pick the starting date and has inspirational quotes. You can see that at my blog. And something I didn't even know existed and I didn't know I wanted until I got them, pop sockets. You can see these at my blog as well. The back of your phone says food is not the boss of me. Okay. Now I thank you to patrons, some of whom are here, who have a private support group on Patreon. Depending on your pledge level, you get 20 pre-recorded video snippets, the topics suggested by patrons a month, 20 a month. Going up from there, a handful of patron-only video live streams. I'm having one at 10 a.m. Eastern this morning, right after this. Up from there, a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom. And up from there, a one-on-one with me monthly. Thank you very much. Commercial over. Now let's look at you fine people. Free your mind. Thank you, by In Vogue. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Sherrod Wild. Lucky my doctors were all for keto, and they are coming around. Sherry Brink writes, I lost 135 pounds last year following the protocol and watching Casey the whole time. Thank you, Casey. Congratulations, Sherry. Dachshundgal writes, just found you, missed 11 minutes. I'll go back and watch when you're done. Well, I had to reboot. Very occasionally, we'll have a blip in our internet connection. It's very occasional. And it happened this morning, just when I went live. Chris in real life, Elaine Parkinson, good thoughts. So many of us relate. Okay, I don't know what Elaine wrote. I will, and I just jump in. Hey, our weekly video Bible study. Hey, Scott. One of the most powerful things a human being can do is to think about their thinking. Absolutely. Scott always he's a patron, and he always is kind and comes from a place of love and support, and is usually profound. Uh, t L. Anders, T-shirt idea, "Don't eat garbage." Way to go, Sherry. Yeah, that is amazing. Christy Calichica. Sherry, congrats. Michelle Ramia. Aloha from Hawaii. Imagine life redesigned. I've lost about 40 pounds following keto off and on over the past few years. It's challenging sometimes, but not giving up. And honestly, people ask me, don't you find it difficult? No, once you get through kind of the initial period, those tortilla chips, the last time we went to our favorite Mexican restaurant, which is now a very long time ago, they brought the basket of tortilla chips, as soon as you see them, and we waved them off and thanked them in Spanish. And my husband said, no, we brought pork rinds. And the server says in Spanish to him, oh, you guys are doing low carb, no carbohydrates. Oh, that's great. You're doing the ketogenic diet? Indeed. Fine with them. So I had no interest in tortilla chips. It could have been a basket of gravel. And I could not have had less interest. Carol Dorothy, as a man thinks, so is he or she. Sherry Brink, thanks, Andrea. The protocol really works. Dr. Westman is credited with saying by one of his patients, I think he told me he doesn't remember saying it, but I'm sure he did. I can guarantee you the protocol will work. I just can't guarantee you'll do it. That's another thing where our mindset has to change. And we certainly have to quit paying attention to the scale. If other things are going in the right direction, reduced joint pain, reduced acid reflux, more restorative sleep, no more migraine, getting your memory back, honestly, having more energy. If the scale's not moving, oh well. And losing inches without losing ounces is a thing. Clothes can feel differently. Bloat can dissipate. It's a great thing. It's guaranteed to work. She's not guaranteed you'll do it, but you're the only person that is in control of that. Fortunately, your doctor's not in control of it. Your partner's not in control of it. Your kids, your mother, your Aunt Ida is not in control of what you put in your mouth. Nobody gets a vote on what we eat. Michelle Ramir, can I eat grapefruit once in a while? You can do anything you want. Can I? Yes, you can. You have the ability to do so. May you? Yes, you have permission to do so. I'm not going to eat grapefruit. Why would I eat grapefruit? Fruit is sugar, even grapefruit, which is kind of tart. But if you want to do it, I'm not going to do it. There was one of you will remember the gardening guy. Gardening by the Yard with Paul somebody. Really liked his shows. And there was one little clip. I mean, he's a master gardener in his backyard. And he was funny, passed along tips. And he had a line, you do what you want to do, but I don't water my plants at night. Do what works for you. You can and you may. You're a grown-up. You can and may eat whatever you want. I can eat Oreos, and I may eat Oreos. I'm not going to eat Oreos. Why would I? Chris in real life writes, it's the inches/ounces thing for me. I know it's true, but sometimes it's hard when the scale isn't moving to feel like you are doing, then don't weigh yourself. Honestly, I weigh myself every day. I have done so essentially since December 18th, 2000, way before keto. The only days I did not weigh myself were when we were in travel status, I was laid up. I had some substantial recovery time from some surgeries and was laid up. And this one ill-fated time when I was so frustrated with the scale, I said, I'm not going to weigh myself anymore. Weighing myself every day is not doing any good. So for a month, I didn't weigh myself. That month, I put on 13 pounds. You know why? Because I wasn't weighing myself. I said, I've got a month off. I'll eat whatever I want. Andrea L. writes, I have a friend that says, "How do you not crave all the things?" I told her the cravings get better and it gets easier. I don't crave sugar or carbs like I used to, so now it's easier. We crave what we eat. How many of us crave alligator meat? Does anyone here crave alligator meat? I don't. You know why? I've never eaten alligator. I don't eat alligator. It might be delicious, but I don't crave it because I don't eat it. I don't crave anything because I don't eat it anymore. It's been 8 years. Now, I do have lascivious thoughts sometimes about things like popcorn and my husband's arepas, but we don't eat them. Michelle Remy at 13 pounds. Cute. Um, okay, Patty Wedge. I made it. Yay. Woohoo. Patty is a patron. Ningrod vlog. So true. You can eat anything, but it's about being wise and choosing the food. Yeah. And keep in mind, foods aren't keto. And if the word keto is on a food packaging label, it almost certainly is not. Because if it's shelf stable, it has stabilizers. And that means starch, which means grains and pulverized soy and things like this. As my friend Amy Berger says, foods aren't ketogenic, our bodies are ketogenic. And look at labels. Look at the back of the label. Ignore the front. Ignore the front of the label. Guess what? There's not a peanut cluster chocolate covered cup that is keto. It doesn't exist. It's fake. It's not. It's an unregulated term. Michelle Ramia has alligator emojis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone has eaten alligator, not a big fan. Our weekly video Bible study, Scott writes, gardening by the yard with Paul James. I knew someone would know. He's funny. I wonder if he's still around. Patty Wedge writes, 9 pounds down in 3 weeks. Clothes are fitting better. I feel awesome. Congratulations. Kathleen York, I crave bacon too. Well, I do like bacon, I will say. And guess what? I can eat it and I may eat it and I do eat it. Step away from the packaged keto products. Okay, Michelle writes, what about a C's candy, sugar-free dark chocolate? Again, do what you want. Do what works for you. Sometimes we get in the frame of mind of, what can I get away with? We might want to change that thinking. Do you really need candy for any reason? Ever? My screen is jumping at me. I don't know what's going on. Edward McGowan from last week's live. You're either interested or committed. Correct. Once committed, you shouldn't have any desire for not real food. Love walking through Sam's or Costco bakery without a desire for baked goods. And Edward has his own success story. I am going to be doing a real life person, Casey's Keto Connections on Crowdcast. I am waiting on Crowdcast is having a major version upgrade, and I'm part of the beta testing on that, and I'm really enjoying it, and it's a good product. I want to make sure all the bugs are out, and Edward's going to be one of them. Angela, you must have missed it when I said there's no requirement for water. Drinking a lot of water important only if you're really thirsty. If you like it, do it. But no, it's no. Kylie Sultana, who is a new member of the Go Keto with Casey Club on YouTube, just completed the Adapt Your Life course, Dr. Westman, and found you. Love your videos from Sydney, Australia. Hello, hello. Hey, Gray's Custom Trim. I love going to a get together with someone who preaches how healthy they are. Then I look at the spread of food they offer, all high carb, low fat, if they only knew. And Gray, I always ask you, you can decline anytime if you want to share your story. Pandora Hunter, first time. And Carol Dorothy writes, Edward McGowan, yes, love that. You're either interested or committed. Patty writes, I have to watch artificial sugars. They play havoc with my glucose. If I eat something with artificial sugar, I use my Keto Mojo and test my blood glucose. Finally got through. Yay, Judy. And Judy, I'm going to make a t-shirt that says sardines because Judy is a patron and we have live streams and she has the most interesting autocorrect on her system. So she was saying to someone, that is sardines, she writes. I said, that's sardines. That's sardines? It was autocorrect from that's awesome. So now in Patreon on our live streams, we use sardines as a cheer. Oh, wow, Michelle, I'm down 30 pounds. So, Michelle, what you're doing, keep it up until it's it. And if it keeps on working, great. If it stops working, tweak. Um, okay. Carol Dorothy, any guidance on becoming a keto coach? I would love to be certified to help. I don't know who would do that certification. I don't know of any keto authority board. I'm not certified to do anything other than share my story. And I talk to people and listen to people. Mostly I listen. So no. And I would run askance because a lot of those I've seen so-called supposedly certified keto coaches who are really selling products. So be careful. Hello, Gahisu got here. I'm going to sign off here. I appreciate you guys letting me be a part of your day. And thank you for coming back to watch. I am sorry about the glitch, but you know, that's live TV. If entire giant companies and websites can go down for no good reason, then I don't feel too badly. Ellen's clapping. Yay, Patty. Bye all. Another fab show. Oh, thank you, Patty. Okay, Gray's Custom Trim. I do want to get this in. Lost 255.2 pounds in 12 months. Follow the simple protocol. No potions, drinks, pills, or plans. And most certainly nothing that says keto on it. That's unbelievable. But I believe it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be sweet. Make it a meaningful day. Keep your carbs low. Lay off the carbs and lay off the excuses. And free your mind from some of that stuff we've been told. All right, guys. Thank you. See you next time.